Hello, today's book is Secret FC, which is a book about a school. And the main character in this book is called Lily. And Lily, she goes to school after the summer holidays, so it's autumn. Autumn has just begun and it's September. And she goes to school and in the first assembly they have, she discovers that the new head teacher, Mr. Edwards, has banned football. This is a problem because where they live in Secret FC, there's lots of railways, there's lots of roads, and there's no fields or parks or anything for them to play in where they live. And it's kind of in the middle of somewhere like London or Birmingham, somewhere really built up. So they've got nowhere to play football anyway. And they used to play on the school playground, and because they can't do that now, they can't play football anywhere. There is, however, some secret sort of grounds near the school, some woods, where there used to be an old tennis court. And the idea behind the story is that the children secretly at lunchtime build a football pitch in the hidden woods and play football secretly. But obviously these sort of plans often don't work out, and they don't work out in this case. So in Secret FC they're discovered and they have to challenge the head teacher, Mr. Edwards, as to why he said you are not allowed to play football. And I got the idea because I go into a lot of schools, and I went into schools and I discovered that there are schools where football can be banned. It can be banned permanently for various reasons, or it can be banned like for a week or a month because of something that's happened between the children. So I thought I'm going to write a story about that. But I also wanted to tie it into history as well. And there's a bit in the story where the children dress up as figures from history, because in about, I think it's the 13th century, football was banned because the king and the rulers thought that too many people were playing football, and they wanted them to practice archery instead because they were planning wars with countries like France, and so they banned people from playing football. So there's kind of a history element to this as well as an element to do with what's happened at school. And I suppose the idea behind this story is sometimes we're told that there's something we can't do. For instance, recently, this spring and summer has been very difficult, I know, for lots and lots of people. We've not been allowed to do lots of things because of COVID. I was supposed to have a birthday party a few weeks ago, but we couldn't do that because we weren't allowed to have people in our garden, and loads of things that you want to do, particularly playing sport, contact sport, you've not been allowed to do. And the idea is behind this story is I suppose the children really want to play football, so they go and play football secretly without telling the teachers. And then they hate the head teacher because he's banned football, but they don't know why he's banned football. And this teacher, the new head teacher, Mr. Edwards, has actually a really good reason for banning football at their school. And the children don't know that, and the teachers don't know that the children are playing football maybe a bit dangerously, hidden away in the woods. And it's kind of like about how when you're not allowed to do something, should you secretly do it anyway, or should you talk and try and find a compromise? And a compromise is like where you both agree on sort of a middle ground where you can do something that's maybe not allowed but under certain conditions. And that's the idea behind this story. And I think it's been a bit like that. Like, I wanted to meet my friend to celebrate my birthday, but instead we did it virtually. We did it by Zoom, and so there are ways of solving problems, and that's what Secret FC is all about. I'll read you the beginning just to give you a taste. It was the first day back at school after the summer break. 6 weeks of fun and holidays over. Finished. But Lily, Zach and Cal weren't sad to be back. They were over the moon. The three of them stood in the playground and looked at the school grounds. Nothing had changed. King's Folly Junior School was just as it had always been. The school building was old and brown. The small car park was packed with teachers' cars. The woods over beyond the playground were as dark and as creepy as ever. And the playground itself was marked out as a football pitch. Ready to return for the first game of term. Kick off at morning break? Lily asked. But sadly, there was no kick off at morning break, and they would soon discover in assembly that football is banned. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps you, makes you think about things that you've been told you're not allowed to do, I suppose if we're told things we're not allowed to do, we've got to ask for the reason why. And sometimes the reason why we're not allowed to do something can be changed, and then we can do it. And that's I suppose that's compromise is a big word that Secret FC is about. Thank you for listening.